You're listening to The Moose and the Loose, your 10 minutes action-packed financial podcast with your host, Mikey Hu. Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from The Moose on the Loose. Welcome to this special episode today, the second one on Tuesday, right? I had to talk about Deepseek and how it put USA AI into deep something else yesterday on the market. And there you go. So special episode. But before we talk about the impact and what happened yesterday on the market, I have to share with you a little story. So when I was a kid, I used to play ball. I loved it. And the thing that I loved the most was to crank it so hard, hit the ball, and then it like doubles and triples all the time. That was like at the first years that I was playing. It was like maybe like 12 or 13. And then I come on the plate one day and I just swing one that goes so far, my friend. They had trouble to find the ball out of the park. And I was like very young, and I was like, am I amazed by myself? I'm like, dude, like I did it. Like I finally crank an home run. Was so easy. The ball was perfect, and it felt like I could do that every single time. So the and you know, like at 13, you don't need much to be amazed by your own self, right? So I was the king of the world. So second presence on the plate, strikeout. Third presence, strikeout. Fourth presence, strikeout. So I was like very, very proud of the first home run that I did. And then I thought, man, that's super easy. So just let's crank it out of the park every single time. Big failure. So now hold on to that thought, and we're going to come back to that story at the end of the episode. So what happened yesterday? Well, big techs, if you were like heavily invested in technology stocks yesterday, your portfolio didn't like it. Some technology stocks were down 10, 15, and almost 20%. Of course, the most important one, Nvidia, was down 17%. Broadcom, another one that I really like, down 17% as well. However, first we have to put everything under perspective. Nvidia was down 17% or up 94% over the past 12 months. And for Broadcom, down 17 or up 70% over the past 12 months as well. So put everything under perspective, not that bad. But yesterday, for such a massive drop, for such a big company, just to give you an idea, Nvidia lost the equivalent of the market capitalization of Scotiabank, BMO, TD, Shopify, and Royal Bank all together in a single day. Or for my US listeners, is the equivalent of Starbucks, Pepsi Cola, and McDonald's at the same day. Kind of crazy, right? Like wiped out almost $600 billion of market cap, like in a snap. So what's the fuss? What's the problem? Well, there is a new AI player in town, and he is coming from China. So a new language powered by AI, similar to ChatGPT or Google's Gemini. So it's called Deepseek. You can go on the website, you can download the app. That has been like the big crazy thing. And why? I mean, yes, we expect a lot more competition in that field. Deepseek is also open source, so a lot of people can contribute to it, like make it like grow faster. But the biggest problem and why companies like Nvidia and Broadcom that are making chips and they're surfing that tailwind around AI are dropping so much is because Deepseek can run and like pretty much say, well, we can do everything that ChatGPT does, but we do it with chips that are less high tech, that are less that required less power, and therefore, of course, if it's cheaper to operate, it's likely going to take more market shares right up front. So why is it so bad? Well, first, because there were a lot of massive investment in AI in the US, and like most of it was to build an infrastructure that may not be required right now. So you're like kind of spending a lot of money to pave your driveway in gold, while there's not much use to have a golden paved driveway, right? So you're just spent too much money for not much. And this is what the market is scared about. Now, should you sell all your Nvidia shares or Broadcom or any other tech stocks that you have that dropped yesterday? I mean, you heard me several times. Let's talk about noise for a second, right? What can you do about it? Well, not much, but there's a lot of noise. Right now, we're just like, oh my God, we need to react. So let's just make a small correction on the, well, not small if your main holding was Nvidia, but yeah, so correction on the market after such a bull run over all those AI stocks. So what can you do about the whole thing to protect your portfolio moving forward? Well, I don't know if you ever heard me talking about diversification, but now is probably the time to make that refresh, right? Sometimes I sound like a broken record, but man, that's like the best decision of my life. Like my portfolio yesterday ended up slightly in the green. So I had like some losers, some winners. The market was super volatile, but at the end of the day, everything was fine. And just to illustrate the whole thing, here's an example of a company that could actually benefit because of its diversification. So similar to your portfolio, sometimes you can make plays as a business, so you're not getting caught in between like a win or a lose. So Microsoft could really play head, you win, tail, you probably win anyway. Why? Because on one side, they are a major investor into OpenAI, which powers ChatGPT. So if ChatGPT still remains one of the leader in AI, well, then there you go. They're going to be a winner there. But they could also be a winner if we have cheaper technology that can run AI, such as Deepseek, with their data center. So they could actually use their data center to scale that and offer the service and power that AI that it is cheaper to do it. So on both ways, they could actually win something. Again, are they going to win or not? Well, that's pure speculation right now. And if you're into that speculation investment strategy, well, right now you have a lot of work on your desk because you must read a lot of things. You must try Deepseek. You must compare it. And kind of funny, I read an article this morning and I was like, that dude didn't like know anything about AI. The way that he tried and compared the result from Deepseek, Gemini, and OpenAI, ChatGPT, that was like actually sad to see the result of that article. So just to keep in mind that nobody is necessarily an expert right now. We're really in the first innings of artificial intelligence. We're discovering this as we get more news and more advancement pretty much every quarter. And it could go even faster. Maybe at one point it's going to be every month or every week that something awesome is going to come up from AI. You heard me say a lot of times, do not try to trade on trends. I identified, of course, AI and energy actually as investment themes for 2025. But I also mentioned that if you're trying to pick the winner around artificial intelligence or anything else, you might get burned quite fast. No one has a clue. And then you can just try to like pick the winner and hit a home run. But as I'm like going back to my story, I mean, I tried that for the entire game after it was like so easy the first time. And I just ended up with a lot of strikeouts. And this is exactly the same thing. If you're trying to pick the winner on a winning trend, on a big trend, well, chances are you're going to get burned. I prefer to be diversified. So some of my stocks will be winners. Some of them will be losers. But in the end, I don't have to worry about too much. And I can just keep on moving on. It doesn't mean that I will ignore what's happening, but it won't impact my portfolio today. So I might maybe not end up hitting a lot home runs, but I'm going to avoid a lot of strikeouts. And I think that as baseball and investment with your portfolio, the point is to get on the base as soon as possible and as often as possible. And then the rest will continue to grow, right? So if you just hit like single, triples, and doubles, well, there you go. You're going to just like gather some points and you're going to achieve your investment goals. Same thing with your portfolio. Just stay focused on that diversification. I was waiting for this morning to record this episode because I wanted to see the reaction of the market after a crazy day. Right now, it seems to be quite calm. Finished the recording just at like 9:30, so the market are about to open, but not much is about going on. If I look at the Nasdaq, it's almost flat. Broadcom is up like 3% before opening market, which probably doesn't mean much, as you know, when you follow those things. Nvidia, similar, like up 2.8%. So long story short, don't try to time the market. Don't try to surf on the waves, and don't just like look at all of those things like, oh, I'm gonna make a move. I'm gonna make a move. No, just relax. I mean, that was just one day on the market, and you know what? I bet you will not even remember that day in 5 years from now. So keep that in mind, and I hope that I was able to ease yourself a little bit. Tomorrow, no podcast because I just did two, and I do have to respect my schedule and my time. So we're going to talk again on Thursday, and until then, please do not forget to stay invested, my friend. All right, take good care. Bye. Hey, welcome to the disclaimer. If you're listening to The Moose and the Loose, you cannot really expect me to give you buy or sell recommendation or financial advice, right? You're here for fun, you're here for information and some entertainment. But I am not your financial advisor, I am not your broker, so therefore I'm not liable if you're losing money after listening to the podcast. If you're looking for some advice, go see a professional. If not, you can enjoy the show and do your due diligence after it.